So we've already talked about the importance of planning, the purpose of planning, and the kind of types of planning that you might undertake in a business. In this session, I want to talk a little bit more about how we start to go about creating a plan. And I like to think about the audience first, the audience for your plan first. And when you think about the audience, the most common groups of people that may be interested in your plan are people like the team in your business, the management or leadership team if you've got one of those established, investors if you've got those in a business, possibly the bank or financial institution you're looking to update or potentially borrow funds from, and of course the owners of the business if they're different to the above. And really, with that audience, what you're looking to do is think about what each types of those audiences, what their needs are, what their expectations are in the kind of budget process, and really design your budget creation or your plan creation to talk to the needs of those individual stakeholders. You may have just one, which is the team, or you may have multiple audiences. So think about all the audience that you've got and what they are looking to kind of get out of the process. As an example, a bank is probably looking to understand whether the business is going to be in a healthy financial position or not. That's really the kind of, acid test that a bank are going to look for. A team member may be looking for more specific guidance around how they are going to be doing their roles and the sort of expectations and outputs they're going to be delivering, whether they're in sales or operations. So they may be looking for more granular information. Once you've worked out your audience, it's a good opportunity then to work out who's going to be involved in the budget creation or plan creation process. And by that I mean who's actually going to be in the room, because the start of any good budget or plan, it really starts with a conversation about the business and the plans for the business and what that's going to do. The role of a CFO is really to help facilitate that conversation and steer it to a point where the CFO and possibly the finance team have got enough information about the plans of the business, as I said when we talked about the kind of types of plan before, to translate the plans into a sort of financial narrative and story for the business. My top tip for, getting people involved is not just looking internally, but thinking about, given that it's a conversation about the business, who outside the business might you want to invite to that conversation about your plans and activities for the next year. So don't just look inside the business, also think about who outside the business might bring valuable perspective or input into your plans. When you start that conversation, it's really important to, have a relaxed environment where you're talking about the plans and the process for the year. What sort of goals do you want to achieve? Are there specific things that you want to achieve in the year, specific progress you want to make, or specific kind of outputs you want the business to get? And kind of start with that in mind. For example, if you're looking to double your sales in the year, as a goal for the business, then you're going to think about things like, what do I need to do from a marketing perspective to do that? What investments do I need to make in marketing? What's that likely to cost? To support that, I'm probably going to need people. I'm probably going to need some extra operational grunt to be able to do that, and I'm going to be making some investment. I'm probably going to need to be buying more things. I maybe need more space for the business. I need to think about logistics, tech, equipment, and any other investments I need in order to be able to do those things. So start with a conversation and allow your CFO to kind of facilitate that and turn that into a financial narrative. The CFO will no doubt be asking for things like assumptions. So if that all went to plan, what assumption could we assume that we're going to achieve in sales maybe, or business output, or price expectations, those sorts of things. So your CFO will be able to guide you in that narrative to have the conversation and to start to set some expectations for the business activity for the year. during that conversation, you really want to make sure you talk about the hard or essential success ingredients you need in order to get to your goals and your plan for the year, and what those look like. So it's the sort of things that you can't do without, the things that are going to be able to enable you to achieve your plans for the year. And really start with the knowns, start with the things you know about. It's very difficult to predict the future, but start with the things you know about, and even create a list of the unknowns, all the questions that you've got. If you get stuck in the conversation, you can't answer some of the questions, really just stop, park, move on, and try to build as much detail in the picture as possible. So don't worry about every little detail, move on and finish the story, as it were. The CFO's role there is to really ask questions, to clarify, to help, and ultimately, as I said before, to translate that conversation about what the business is going to do into a financial narrative and plan. Once that conversation's finished and taken place and the translation's been done, so to speak, then it's a really good opportunity to then come back together as a group and to plan how you're going to communicate that to the business. So that might be formal communication or informal communication to the different stakeholders. It might just be sitting the team down and just talking through the goals and the financial outcomes of the year and what you're looking to achieve. But the aim of the communication is that everybody understands the direction of travel, where things are going, what the expectations are. But don't stop there. Don't just communicate once at the start of the year for a budget. I see that mistake as a CFO a lot, and I think communicate by all means the start of the budget, but make sure you communicate as you go through the journey of the year if you're creating a 12-month budget, or over multiple years how you're sticking to the plan. So regular communication, short, sharp and punchy, is better than communicate once and forget, in my opinion. And that will then allow you to create a meaningful budget based on a meaningful conversation of what the business's plans are for the year, translate that into financial story and expectations, and ensure everybody understands where the business is going and what the results are to be expected.